Okay, well, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And John's going to lead us in a opening song.
No.
Light
Mike
the candle first.
first, and then John's going to lead an opening song.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone. So I light our candle here. The only ritualistic thing we do, which is the wax represents again that there's only one. We light two wicks. The first wick we light is that of the light of God that's within us. Again, that Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is within us, plus also all the other avatars and great saints that have come before us. The second wick I light is that of the community. If you notice that as we join our lights together, it shines a much greater light into the world. So thank you.
Okay, John. Right.
All right. We're going to open up with Loving Now. If I can find it here. That's it. Loving yesterday, loving tomorrow, loving today, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now. Loving music, loving singing, loving harmony, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now. Loving forgiveness, loving gratefulness, loving creativity, loving as we could, loving wisdom, being kinder, living better, loving what is good. Loving nature, loving beauty, loving each other, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now, loving now.
Well, thank you, John, so much. And our speaker today is going to be Deb Haley, and she'll be on the. She shares the picture with John, so they'll switch out, and she'll be able to be our speaker. So we're all happy about that. And let's see. So let's go ahead and do Science of Mind 365.
Well, good morning, everyone. Science of Mind 365 for the 14th day of September. And Ernest Holmes' affirmation is, I recognize physical perfection as my divine birthright. I recognize physical perfection as my divine birthright. Say this silently as I say it again out loud. I recognize physical perfection as my divine birthright. And the scripture reading is taken from Psalms 139. It says, whither shall I flee from thy presence? And there is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is my life now. It is good when we live affirmatively. And it's when we do that that we are happy. It is only as we seek the good that we can find it. It is only as we mentally align our consciousness with abundance can we seek it out. So we have been told to behold the face of God forevermore in everything. So now we know that we do not really see God any more than we see life. No one has ever seen life, but everyone has experienced it through living. No one has ever seen God, but some people have experienced God's presence so completely that their whole lives have become a continuous affirmation of peace, poise, and power. All persons have experienced this presence to some degree. It is not entirely unknown to anyone. Being told to behold God's face forevermore means that we should recognize life and poise and peace, power, joy, in and through and as everything and everyone. This has been called practicing the presence of God. We can do this with the certainty of splendid result. So today, I recognize the divine presence in everything. In the midst of darkness, I see light. At midnight, I sing a song to the dawn, knowing that the eternal light dissipates all darkness. Today, I recognize beauty in the midst of ugliness, peace in the midst of confusion. Today, I convert all doubt into certainty, all sorrow into joy, all fear into faith. Science Mind 365.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And John, you want to lead us into meditation then?
We are love in the heart of each other. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of each other. We are light, a radiant flame. We are love in the heart of life. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of life. We are light, a radiant flame. We are love in the heart of the universe. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of the universe. We are light, a radiant flame. We are love in the heart of creation. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of creation. We are light, a radiant
And as we recognize that we are light, a radiant flame inside of you, and feel that as we're walking in a meadow surrounded by trees and flowers, and butterflies, and maybe some birds taking in the tree. The sun is bright, but it's not too hot, it's not too bright. It is a beautiful sight, a lovely sight. And you find a bench so that you can sit down and just really enjoy the beauty of the meadow. Maybe that babbling brook by. You hear the babbling of the water going by. Looks often you'll see a chipmunk or a squirrel, maybe even a rabbit. Near the tree. And all that is good. But as we know that all is well, that life is good, full of light, and that we are one with that beauty and that light. I now speak my word for Summit Center for Spiritual Living. I know that for Deb, as she speaks today, that it's God's word speaking through her and as her. For Don, as he does the music, that it is also expressed in the spirit through him, as him, and for Kyle and Hannah and Michael, and for anybody else who may not, but will be on and around another time. I'm just thankful, each and every one. I am so grateful and thankful, and I give thanks. I give thanks for all the good that is happening right here, right now. And it is my word, knowing it is done. So I let it be.
We are love in the heart of a witness. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of awareness. We are light of radiant flame.
And thank you. And as you open your eyes, you can really now, to take a moment to watch each other's eyes and to see the magnificence, which is God, within each other. Okay. Well, thank you all so much, and thank you, John. Yay! Okay, so
Well, let me switch saddles here. I don't know
all
where,
right.
where our speaker went. She disappeared. By the way, we're going to give her the award for greatest amount of preparation time for among our speakers. She's put the most into it of anybody.
All right, that's wonderful.
Let me bring up your thing here. So bring up her. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Got to get the computer right for her. There. All right.
I'm coming. Okay.
Welcome, Deb. We're happy to have you here. So,
Hi.
hi.
I can.
All right.
Huh?
I'm just going to say, I'm going to let you just get going here. I'm going to
Okay.
and let you talk. All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, my topic is going to be centered on the truth of forgiveness from the Course in Miracles. It's about restoration through the Holy Spirit, healing of the mind, rather than the creative medium of the spirit upon material environment, like we're trying to get a new car or a new house or, whatever else we try to manifest in our life. However, I think people are stumbling over the concept in the Course in Miracles about the world and the universe being an illusion to miss the revelation about forgiveness in the perfected terms. I think the Hermetic teachings in the Kabbalion promote the understanding of the absolute point of view and there being nothing real but the source of all things. The science of the mind's organizing principles have its basis in Hermetic teaching. Hermetic teachings were named after the Greek philosopher Hermes, and that period extended from 3000 BC to 1200 AD, and in which time span Jesus lived 36 years. So I speculate that the grand mental alchemy as presented in the secret of the Hermetic doctrines, recognized as the great reconciler, the great seed of tradition, the great seed of truth and original truth, and a spiritual inspiration to the outside world, came directly through the perfected emulation of Jesus as the way shower of the transcendent divine. The Hermetic teachings, as set forth in the Book of Kabbalion, introduce the paradox of the universe and polarity of truth, where poles or opposites are reconciled. I can't talk today. Where pairs of opposites are reconciled, meet extremes. There are two sides to everything in varying degrees of the things of appearing large and small, bright and dark, evil and good, hate and love, higher, lower vibrations, and everything in between. And from the Kabbalion, we discover that the vibration of hate can be changed to the vibration of love within one's own mind and in the minds of others by the use of the will and transmuting evil into good. And this is the principle of polarity from the mystic teachings. The art of polarization becomes mental alchemy, a science of the mind. All is the living mind, and the universe is mental, held in the mind of all. And from the Kabbalion, I quote, the divine paradox, use of the law in capital letters against laws in small letters, the higher against the lower. And the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, using the higher octave against the lower, escaping pain of the lower plane and vibrating higher. And if the all were to imagine the material universe where real universe were real, then there would be no escape from the lower to the higher, and the universe would become fixed and there would be no progress. But according to the Course in Miracles, reality is that which is permanent, exists independent of deception, illusion, and subjective opinion. The transcendental realm, known as heaven, eternity, or the kingdom of heaven, a changeless, formless, boundless, pure spirit. But we are of the reality of all of that reality is absolute truth. And A Course in Miracles is a book of mastering this art, adjusting our perception to bring them into proper alignment, capable of creating in the likeness of God and all that is, and bringing the higher to the lower, and the idea that man's righteousness is filthy rags to the height of worthiness of all men. A Course in Miracles came about in 1965 through psychologist Helen Schucman, when she began hearing the inner voice that she identified as Jesus. And she described her own experience as divine love, and she claims that inner voice told her she was being given the Course in Miracles and to write it down. And the notes were transcribed and produced into the book available today. For this, she's been accused of subverting traditional Christianity and contemporary culture, and even being a CIA operative for the left. And there is some confusion about forgiveness, because what is assumed, believed, and had or unconsciously programmed into our mind about forgiveness is not consistent with what A Course in Miracles says. What the Course means by forgiveness is not what is generally practiced. We're drenched in attitudes that come from religion and culture, and the general idea is to just give up your resentment towards another person, and your right to resent or punish them, even though you keep the perception that he sinned against you and that you're justified in resenting him. And so that it affirms that the other person sinned and is worthy of condemnation, yours and his. It also affirms that you are holier than he because he sinned and you forgave. But the Course moves us from this commonly established perception to a most crucial understanding in the Course on how to reframe the basis of forgiveness and how atonement and salvation works. First, it's important to understand the concept that we have about the two selves, or two natures, as some would say. In traditional Christianity, one possesses a sinful nature and a redeemed nature after you accept Jesus sacrificed his life through the crucifixion on the cross for your original sinful nature. In contrast, you have a concept of a false self and a true self. The Course claims that the true self is who you are as God created you, innocent, complete, whole, perfect, eternal, as well as what you are when you align your thoughts with the Holy Spirit. In terms of the false self, what we're talking about is an inner voice in our head that's obsessively talking to itself, incessantly judging, blaming, labeling, and analyzing. And the false self is also known as our ego personality. And we identify with these thoughts. This is how I think. That's just me. This is how I see it. That's what I thought. That's what I was taught. And this is how I feel. And much of that has been an unconscious, conditioned way of being aware of life and being in the environment of our family, religion, culture, society, and institutions, and how behavior was modeled to us. We accept it as how it is and as reality without question. And that is how we survive the outer world when we have forgotten our true nature is as God created us, by assuming we're just the voice in our head and the ego personality. And we think that is how God created me. And we identify solely as that. We lost the meaning of the kingdom within, and the kingdom is present now within our own consciousness to know. So the Course teaches our identification with the perfect presence Embodying the Christ as the inner divine self changes our function. It also says our only function is forgiveness. Love is forgiveness and salvation. We are all the saviors of the world in our forgiveness of one another and in our own self-forgiveness of shortcomings. And as we have substituted the false self for our inner divine self, Lesson 22 of the Course in Miracles explains that we have a savage fantasy about a world whose vengeance is about to strike us, where counterattack occupies our mind, increasing a vicious cycle that we project onto the world until we are willing to see differently. We begin altering this cycle by recognizing how the ego shows up in our lives, in its perception of the world that attacks, deserving our anger, and retribution. The ego shows up in many ways, but the main way it manifests is through the seemingly innocent objective idea that the world in which our environment is constantly causing us pain in small and large ways justifies our anger and retaliation. We can all relate to going through the day feeling as if all kinds of situations in different forms are attacking us. Our peace is attacked, and we think it is a rational view of the world. What we don't realize it is the ego, and this is the core problem in our mind projecting itself, because this is the way we have been taught to view the world, the problems out there. And this is why forgiveness is a central teaching of the Course in Miracles, because forgiveness is a remedy to this problem. Take a moment and think about all the different ways that you feel attacked. Write it down. Write down anything that you feel is encroaching on your peace right now. You'd feel better if it were not happening. Write down what feels like is attacking you in this moment. It could be as simple as the temperature in the room. It could be insects. It could be money problems or a variety of things. It could be muddy shoes at the back door. I know I've had my times where I feel attacked. The noise in the Akron Public Library is my most recent problem. It appears they have turned it into a daycare center and after school programs for kids. And I was raised with quiet libraries, and I worked in a quiet hospital, and they are not quiet places anymore for concentration or rest. I mean, I have voiced my objections, but from the mammoth posters on the wall, I conclude that there is a financial partnership with the Department of Educational Development, which supersedes what I think lacks consideration for my needs as a patron. Well, I don't consider this sin, but I have quite a few frustrations and judgments with less than lovely thoughts towards the people and situation many times. But that's kind of the example that we live with every day. The Course teaches there's only one problem and one solution. And before we go into the miracle of forgiveness, the center theme of the Course, I like to look at the misperceptions about forgiveness and why we hold our grievances. We essentially are telling ourselves, I was wrong, I deserve better, I am better than that was done and said about me. And it is a way to maintain a certain level of esteem as long as I know that I deserve better than the other person will be guilty. And I will be innocent and they're imperfect. And it's kind of a struggle to restore our self-esteem when it's been wounded. And it can be at the expense of holding someone else in chains. And that's basically how culture thinks our self-esteem is restored. And because of the human belief in sin, that sin is real, to the conventional perspective, forgiveness often feels like an undeserved gift and a sacrifice of our rights. We therefore only engage in it for our well-being. But if I'm giving up the anger, if I'm giving up the right to retaliate, if I'm sacrificing my right to this person who doesn't deserve that gift, why would I do that? Give an undeserved gift and sacrifice my valued rights. I'd only do that if I see some kind of benefit to my ego. And that big gain is that if I forgive, I'm on higher moral ground than the person who attacked me. And I forgive you because I'm so spiritual. You weren't, you can't help it. You're a victim of your past. But the idea is that forgiveness is meant to be a gesture of benevolent kindness. But the conventional way is enacted. It can have a dark side of attack, different forms of forgiveness that really are intended to destroy and separate and promote aggression. We're all aware of the martyr who performs in silence to forgive while holding a burning rage inside, and those who lower themselves to help a person he feels inferior to themselves. And forgiveness then rests on an arrogant attitude of superiority, and it's not from the source of love to forgive when you what you disdain. And forgiveness to destroy can take the form of bargaining and compromise. We can hold our grievance to keep another in a cage of guilt, expecting them to pay reparations. I'll forgive you if meet my needs, and I'm released in your imprisonment. But here's an example similar to honor among thieves. And we see it today, honor among felons and insurrectionists and pedophiles and sexual abusers. I pardon you because I do it too, and it's okay. The Course in Miracles says that one who would forgive another does not claim to be better now. Instead, here is one whose sinfulness he shares, and since both have been unworthy and deserve the retribution of God. Well, this can appear to be humility and benevolence and a sort of bestowal of honor, but it can promote more sinfulness and guilt. It is not the gift of love for the source of creation and divinity, nor the remembrance of our shared identity. The Course addresses the perception of the attacking world while letting go of anger, yet refraining from retaliation without any attempt to question the idea of feeling attacked. Although I deserve to feel anger and entitled to my anger, I won't indulge in it. I'll let it go because of commonly held attitudes of our justification of resentment. Much of conventional forgiveness is not really letting go of anger, but avoiding it altogether. We're not getting to the root to dismantle it. We're just not looking at it or denying that it exists in practice. It's mainly being repressed out of our awareness. In the present, we often end up replaying past memories of people, which the Course defines as shadow figures, who did not give us the love we wanted, therefore taking vengeance on people in our current environment. So refraining from our impulses, no matter how well intentioned, doesn't work, because a feeling of anger is simply the emotional effect of having those perceptions. You can't have the perception and release the anger. Teachers of the Course have a good metaphorical description. The perception is a flash of lightning, and the anger is the clap of thunder. So the two go together. So if you see this situation as I was unfairly attacked and wounded, then anger is the automatic effect. You can't keep the cause and let go of the effect. And Proverbs says, hatred stirs up strife, but love recovers all offenses. And Matthew 7 instructs us not to judge. 100 Bible verses pertain to forgiveness, yet most all are being separated from God because of sin. It departs from the Hermetic teachings that preceded it centuries before, and forgiveness is the grand mental alchemy and great reconciler. According to Helen Schucman, Jesus was channeling through A Course in Miracles a different perspective of the act and meaning of forgiveness from which the Orthodox religion teaches and what the ego perception for justifiable anger considers rational. The Course being, did you get me some water? Thanks. The Course brings light to the idea that the world has attacked, justifying anger and perceives it as an illusion for which the mind needs healed and restored, and it's a call for love. Prior to the belief in separation, forgiveness was unnecessary. Forgiveness led beyond all illusions to the truth of God. Excuse me. In the dimension of love, there's no attack and anger. It doesn't exist. Illusion is anything outside of heaven, anything imperfect, infinite, or painful. This includes any object, situation, or event in the world of time and space, including time and space. It mainly includes the majority of our thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations. This is the definition that I got from the Course in Miracles glossary for what illusion is. But there are perceptions in the world that we don't recognize as false, but desire to make them true. And the ego tells us we only have a choice between illusions. But we have a choice between identity, with identifying with the false self, and the divine true self as God created us. Who we think we are affects how we forgive. The science of the mind states we must believe that Christ indwells our lives and stimulates our actions, and realize within the divine presence, a perfect person, is to recognize the Christ. And it is our inner self and the underlying reality, which our personality but poorly emulates. Forgiveness is deeper into our own divine self. The miracle of forgiveness requires a shift in identity, recognizing ourselves as part of the universal sonship, partaking of the Christ nature, living presence in unity with it, and to recognize others as ourselves. That I took it from the Course in Miracles, page 364. The Course teaches our identification with the perfect presence, embodying the Christ as our inner divine self, changes our function, and it also says our only function is forgiveness. Love is forgiveness and salvation. And we are the saviors of the world in our forgiveness of one another and in our self-forgiveness of our shortcomings. We're not here to judge the world. We're here to love the world. And applying the Course in Miracles, forgiveness is love, to what the Bible says: if you cannot love your brother you can see, how could you love God who you have not seen? Love God and love others as yourself, because in unity consciousness, they are yourself. So don't project the ills of the world, blaming God for what is the extension of your own consciousness. But from the state of mind that identifies with separateness, lack, and incompleteness, one feels threatened, assaulted in a fear-based world, and is the projection of guilt we have placed upon it. The Kabbalion says there is no power outside all that to affect us. The undesirable is transmuted to the worthy through the vision of the Christ within our salvation, is our salvation. Rather than condemning the world, it is blessed. The undoing the thoughts of separation. The mind is changed, not the world. Atonement wipes away the illusion of attack and allows us to understand sin never occurred, and nothing stands between us and God, and confirms that one before us is the divine Son. Salvation brings the end to the idea of sin altogether, and through the channeled message of Jesus in the Course of Miracles, the perspective of the divine self in perfect innocence, complete wholeness, and unity of all things, one cannot be harmed or attacked. With a higher true perception, that this change in the mind overcomes the world, transcends the ego, allowing us to identify with our true self. This also So it creates a different perception about the rising of the body as the resurrection, to the rising of our minds from the limits of our mind in the dream of death, to the awareness of the immortal eternal life of the entire sonship. Well, thank you for listening. Now that I've gone all to sleep.
Nice. The fact that you
No,
go ahead.
no, we're not asleep. That was excellent. Yeah, and I think too, I'm always, I produce a show for a Course in Miracles teacher on Sunday evenings called The Miracle of Prosperity. And the one evening, one of the most heated evenings ever on New Thought Media Network was when that the presenter said that there's something, if there's something that needs to be forgiven out there, there's something that needs to be healed in me. And the comments lit up. And it's because, again, that it's easier to go ahead and to blame them out there and not understand that there's three fingers back. And forgiveness does give us that, I believe, does give us that freedom of, again, of taking a look at ourselves and saying, okay, what needs to be released in me? What needs to be taken care of in me, so that doesn't show up out there. It's an advanced form of spirituality that I think that, again, to give up that victim consciousness to be able to receive good. So I thought that was excellent, Deb. Thank you so very much. Thank you for the time that you spent on it. I think that was excellent. So thank you.
I 100% agree. As you were talking about the forgiveness, and it, that you have to forgive yourself, and that's the hardest thing to do sometimes. And knowing that it is the hardest thing to do, it really reminds me of how much we have to really just come from a place of love to ourselves as well as for others. If we can get ourselves to love ourselves, it makes it a lot easier to love others. So thank you. I appreciate that. So wonderful. We're looking forward to your next talk, whatever that may be. So,
No.
She needs several months to get it ready.
I got to chew on it.
all right, no problem. All right. Okay, thank you so much, Deb. And John's gonna give us a song here once they get switched around.
There we go. Let's see here now. Things organized a little. Okay, this is a new song I wrote just a week ago, basically. A week ago, Friday night. Just playing around on my guitar, and then wrote it all down in about 15 minutes, right in front of Deb. And she sat there and like, you wrote a song that fast? The wind is blowing gently, leaves rustling in the breeze. As daylight is fading, the moon glows through the trees. Evening into nightfall, crickets having fun, moonlight shadows forming as the day is done. Lightning bugs around us, sparking up the dark. Animals are moving, birds make no remark. Evening into nightfall, crickets having fun, moonlight shadows forming as the day is done. Treetops silhouetted against clouds in the sky, peaceful relaxation in evenings by and by. Evening into nightfall, crickets having fun, moonlight shadows forming as the day is done, as the day is done.
I like it. Yay! Nice song.
It's another one for my, it's called Evening, and it's another one for my nature collection, which actually I think I presented one just a couple weeks ago called On and On, which is also a new one for the nature collection.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you. Okay, so it is that time where Michael, your volume is up really loud. I'm hearing feedback. All right, thank you. Anyways, it's that time where we have the opportunity to give. And there are several ways. You can go to Zelle or to PayPal. And you would go to ssc@akron@gmail.com. That's Sam Cat of Akron@gmail.com. SSC Sam Cat. You're looking weird.
He's trying to remember what Sam the cat looks like.
Yeah. Anyways, so you
Yes,
can
in phonetic alphabet, it's Sierra, Charlie.
okay, all right, whatever. But it's mine, it's Sam Cat. So anyways, the Sierra Charlie, and the if you don't want to do it online, you can also send a check or a money order with the word Summit on it to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44310. All right. How about some good and more good, John?
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, expect more good. Good and more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
All right. Thank you. Todd, announcement time.
Okay, so yours truly again spends most of his week on New Thought Media Network. So last Friday's show, which is the Friday evening fireside chat, is one for the record books. It was very good. And again, we talked about the issues of the day, including the unfortunate assassination of Charlie Kirk and other topics, and related to, again, to spiritual principles. So if this is the program, if you don't like the news, to go ahead and to take a look at, again, it's Friday evenings, 8:00 Eastern, 6:00 Mountain Time. And yeah, that's, and again, just when I'm not with you guys, I miss you. Unfortunately, I was asked to do a short memorial service for radio friend of mine's husband last Sunday, and so I know that they appreciated you guys letting me go for the Sunday. So, but I miss you when I'm not here, and so we're gonna try not to have that be too often. So, all right, and yeswise.com, John.
Yeswise.com, and also my Yeswise channel on YouTube, where I'm gradually putting up all my Inspiry programs. So you can go to YouTube and just put in the word Yeswise, and it should bring up my channel. But Yeswise Inspiry at yeswise.com.
Great. Okay, and then our speaker next week will be Carol Ann Drick, and she's not here today. She's not feeling. She's a little under the weather, but that's why she's not here. But she will be okay. I know her well enough. She'll be here ready for next week.
It's too bad the weather looks really nice over here at our house.
Yeah. And then the week after that is John. He's our speaker, the fourth Sunday. And then the first Sunday in October is also Carol Ann Drick. She had to have, yeah, so it just kind of worked out that way. And then we'll have to figure out for the second, third, and fourth weeks. And I know Michael is gone probably 2 of those weeks, the first and the third. So I know he can't do that. So
More like the second. Let's see here.
no, the fifth is a Sunday, and you told me
Right.
on Sunday.
And I'll be gone then.
Right. And then you said the 15th through the 20th.
Yeah, so I'll be, but
So the 20th.
the second Sunday I'm available. So what happened was, and I'll share this. So Deb, yesterday I thought it was my Sunday. So here I'm preparing a talk, and it came up pretty good. And I said, well, Diana, am I tomorrow? No, it's Deb. And I said, okay, well then I'm one ahead. So I have one in the can.
In the hopper.
In the hopper. So I have one in the queue.
Uh-huh.
And that's how it happened with Carol Ann. When we 2 weeks ago, when she spoke, I had asked Michael, because of the memorial, couldn't speak. So we happened to talk to her that day, because we talk once a week. And she had said that she had come up with 2 new talks that she was surprised that just came out. So when I asked her, she said, okay, so she did that one. So then she's also scheduled to next week. And then since then, she's come up with another one. So that's why she told me she'd do the 5th. So,
a roll.
Yeah. So, Michael, would you like to do you'll do the second week? Is that good? And then John, I'll do the 3rd week, because I know the 3rd week's always hard on you and you mind doing the 4th week again?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So that's what's coming up for October. All right. So
that's about when my grandchild is supposed to be born.
Oh, well, do you need to?
I'm probably I don't think I can go there for the birth, but I was thinking probably more like going in for Thanksgiving, maybe.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yes. Okay. So, anyway, so it's that time for our moments of silence. And I am going to actually try to do the audio and set this up so you guys actually hear the ringing of it. The bell. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to ring us in and I'll ring us out. And as we do that, please go ahead and bring in mind anybody that may need some extra prayer. To send love and light and peace their way. And that for, whether it be for yourself, a family member, a friend, or for the world. So with that, just know that the best and highest good is happening. And I'll bring us in. The light of God surrounds us. The is well.
All right, let me bring up a little song for us here. Whoop, I forgot to hit share. There it is. Life is real. Life is true. We are life. Living is me and you. Joy is true. We are joy. Living is me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace. Living is me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love. Living in you. Living as we and you.
All right. Thank you so much. That concludes our service. And Hannah, you can get off of Facebook now. And when we're done with that, we can just kind of chat a bit. So